What's up YouTube, Capital G here talking about Zefra in this video and their amazing new cards coming out of Maximum Crisis that in my personal opinion are kind of overpowered, but I think that the Yu-Gi-Oh community and myself are going to have to give Konami a pass on this one because let's be real guys, Zefra have kind of, can I say, sucked dick ever since they were released in Crossos, and I'm just talking about like a pure version of Zefra, not like the Yang Zing Zefra hybrid that actually topped a couple of regionals. If you were playing just a pure version of Zefra, I mean, you weren't really doing much on a competitive level. It was just more like casual. And the thing about Zefra is I think that this deck is going to become strong enough to be pretty much like one of the best decks in the game that no one even knows about. And when I say no one knows about, I just mean like you're playing at a regionals and your opponent has no idea what the fuck any of your cards does. Zefra has always seemed kind of like Despots to me. It's a pendulum based deck, but no one like really knows what it does. If you ask the average duelist, like go around your regionals or locals or something like that, what do you know about Zefra? Like they might be able to just bullshit you and be like, oh yeah, it's pendulum based and it has a Stratos, and that pretty much works for Despots or Zefra, but they don't really know anything other than that. And yes, the deck does have some search ability. It has a Rota basically and Oracle of Zefra, which it's not only just a Rota, but then you get bonus effects depending on which dimensional mechanic you use, and including Ritual. So it's like Ritual, Ixie, Synchro, Fusion. If you use those mechanics, then you get like bonus effects as well. But the thing about Zefra is not only have they always lacked a boss monster, trying to ritual summon in the deck felt really incoherent in my opinion. Like it was just like weird, and I thought that it didn't really work in the deck. But the cool thing about Zefra, in addition to these new cards, is the deck has always had a whole lot of fucking searchability. Not just Oracle of Zefra, but the fact that you can place a Tellarknight Deneb in the deck, which if you pendulum summon it gets its effect, if you normal summon it, if you special summon, obviously Zefra have their own Tellarknight that you can search from this. The fact that Yang Zings are really associated with Zefra as well, because there's two of them, means that you can go into Denlong, you can make extremely strong fields, and then you can kind of back them up with like 9 pillars. Now the 3 new cards, guys, in my opinion, they are really good. Again, I think they're like low-key overpowered, especially if you look at this card Zefra Providence, which is basically a Rota for the entire fucking archetype, but then it protects you from destruction as well. Like what? Can you imagine if they just if they released a new Rota and then they also said, oh yeah, you can banish this from your graveyard, protect all your warriors? Like people would lose their fucking mind. So this is a new card coming out of Maximum Crisis. It says add 1 Zefra from your deck to your hand, except this card obviously. If Zefra cards you control would be destroyed, except during the turn that this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card. Instead, you can only activate 1 per turn. So again, it is a once per turn Rota, but guys, it protects the entire archetype and it searches the entire archetype, and it can even protect the field spell. So it protects your spells and traps as well. The card is incredibly powerful. Next up, they have a card that is basically kind of like an Infernity Break that you can use from the hand, which is kind of stupid to me. It's at worst like a mini Icarus attack or a Gemini Spark. At best, it's a Icarus attack that you can use from the hand. It's called Celestial Crusade of the Zefra. It says target 1 Zefra card you control and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them. If you have 2 Zefra cards in your pendulum zones, you can activate this card from your hand. It is once per turn as well. Well, you can only activate 1 per turn. Now I know what you guys are thinking, Cap, how the hell is that an Infernity Break? It seems like it's just going to be a 1-for-1, but you guys have to remember you can target your fucking field spell. So obviously you can activate Oracle Zefra, you can get your Surge, and then you can just blow up your field spell because you don't really need it that much, and you can blow up a card on your opponent's side of the field, and you can activate it from the hand. What's not to like? And then there's this new card that has a monster effect that has been like, this is an unseen monster effect, or it's never been seen in Yu-Gi-Oh before. I have no idea why they designed this. You guys have probably heard about this card by now. It's called Zefratora Grammaton, and its pendulum effect is actually pretty good. It says during your main phase you can add 1 pendulum Zefra monster from your deck into your extra deck, and if you do, this pendulum scale becomes the same as the monster that you just put in your extra deck. So it's basically like a Foolish Burial for pendulums by putting it in or face up on your extra deck, but then it copies the level, and this guy is already level 5, but if you get a low pendulum scale, then obviously it sets up for some really big pendulum effects. The monster effect is it cannot be normal or special summon. It has to be special summon face up from the extra deck by tributing all monsters you control, including at least 3 Zefra monsters. Cannot be special summoned by any other ways. After this card is special summoned to your field, you can pendulum summon Zefra monsters and no other cards at the same time during your main phase, in addition to to your normal Pendulum summon. So you get 2 Pendulum summons, guys. Now, the thing about this card that a lot of people aren't going to realize is, yes, it is a difficult card to summon, and its stats are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it is 3450, 2950. Like, by the way, can I just acknowledge the fact that this guy looks like Light and Darkness Dragon? I actually thought that this was a Light and Darkness Dragon XC before I figured out that this was a Zefra. But the thing that people aren't going to realize about this is you don't actually have to summon this card for it to be effective. Like, this is just a card that sets up your extra deck really, really fast, as well as working as a scale. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, come on, Cap. Yeah, some of these cards are really good, but is Zefra really going to be a good explosive deck? Okay, well, you know what, guys, why? See, that's why I come prepared. You guys just watch this replay, look how explosive Zefra are. And before I even roll this, I know a lot of people are going to be thinking, oh, come on, Cap, give me a break. This guy is beating up on Skull Servant Vampires. Like, really? That's not even a legitimate deck. And I agree, it's not a legitimate deck. This is probably a trash deck, to be completely honest, but that's not the point, guys. The point is about the Zefras and just how much more consistent the deck is and how it actually has like a legitimate ceiling, because before the ceiling was kind of trash. It just was very low and it didn't really have much of a ceiling at all. And the thing about Zefra that I like is how much deck thinning you have. You see, he activates Terraforming and then Rota. He activates Oracle of Zefra, which gets him another card out of his deck. He's able to summon Deneb off the Red Resonator, get another card. He draws another card from Stardust Charge Warrior. Then he's able to activate Grammatron and Foolish Burial, a card to his extra deck. And it's like, guys, look, before he's even really done anything, the dude has already thinned his deck of 6 cards. Like, that's a significant amount. And he's able to change Grammatron from a 5 scale into a 7 scale, and I mean, he's got a 1 and a 7, guys. That's pretty, I would say that's pretty wide scales. It's not as good as 1 and 8, but it's still pretty decent. Now, here's where all of the Zefra and the Yang Zing kind of like synergy comes in, because not only can you synchro, but then you can make like 9 branches, you can make Denlong, you can search 9 pillars, and then you can basically just make this uncrackable board. Now, he's playing Ultimaya, which obviously works when you have multiple copies of 9 pillar. He's able to make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and when you look at this field, I mean, if I was playing against this, obviously I would scoop. Like, look at this. After 1 turn, this guy has full scales on the field. He has a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. He has 2 huge-ass Yang Zings. I mean, 2,800 defense, 2,600 defense. You're not getting over this that easily. And obviously, he has 2 Infernity Barriers to back him up. Like, what are you going to do against all of this shit? Like, this is an incredibly strong field. And even if you somehow were able to crack his field, it's not like he doesn't have monsters he can just pendulum back anyway. So it's like he has a loaded extra deck. He has a huge behemoth Crystal Wing on the field. He's got 2 Infernity Barriers, and he's got some decent sized monsters in defense mode as well. Like, this is a fucking amazing field, guys. I believe that his opponent is probably going to scoop to this, or yeah, I think he scoops to the Crystal Wing effect, where the game pretty much is just over at that point. Even though he doesn't actually have that much damage on the field, because yeah, 3 of these monsters do have 0 attack. It doesn't matter. If he just would have set a card, he could have ended up getting like, I don't know, an Ignister or something like that, and obviously the game is over, because yes, this deck can actually make Ignister as well. So I just wanted to show you guys this, because I think Zefra are going to go seriously under the radar, but these new cards are really good. When you have a Rota that protects your entire field from destruction, well, not the entire field, but like all your monsters or your field spell, like that's pretty powerful, or your pendulum scales, like that is unheard of. So you guys let me know what you think. I think these cards are really good. They're coming out in Maximum Crisis, so it will be a while before we get them into TCG. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already.